It's no secret that Ozempic is being widely used in Hollywood, whether these celebrities admit it or not. But more disturbing is a new rumor that they're throwing secret Ozempic parties with each other. A bunch of rich people getting together to use off-label Ozempic illegally during the middle of a national shortage for the people with diabetes that actually need this drug.
They have to go, they have to prove that they don't have a prescription for it. That's how you get into the party.
Mindy Kaling is the cover of this piece because she's had some dramatic weight loss in recent years. And she claims that it's because of portion control and exercise, but I think we all know the truth. This says rumors have surfaced suggesting celebrities are hosting extravagant Ozempic parties despite the nationwide shortage of the drug, as well as anonymous allegations that some stars are using and gatekeeping similar drugs to achieve rapid weight loss. And this comes from an anonymous source that put in a blind item a while back saying, Hollywood wants you to think they're taking a drug beginning with an O to help them lose weight. It's a distraction. There is a much better drug, and one that actually costs nearly nothing, but they want to keep it a secret. It makes you lose weight even faster than Ozempic. It is also an injectable drug, and one thing is A-list actress / writer / producer Mindy Kaling does every week is have injection parties, so no one has to inject themselves.
This is disturbing. Every week? I thought that you only had to take Ozempic every month.
I think it depends on the dosage for each person, like if you're more overweight versus less, but definitely if you can't get it from a doctor prescription, you're going to have to go to one of these Hollywood parties and have someone have Mindy Kaling inject your stomach with Ozempic for you or whatever they're using.
This reminds me back in 2020 when people would have those closeted house parties during during lockdowns because you couldn't go out. It's now it's the new thing. Ozempic parties in Hollywood. Can't get it on the shelves. It's sold out everywhere.
You have to prove you don't have diabetes to get in.
It is crazy that a lot of celebrities during the lockdown period, especially with those strict regulations in LA, they definitely were hosting parties and at the same time preaching to the public, the peasants, that they should not be going out without a mask
My
on.
favorite is the picture of Alyssa Milano with the crocheted mask with holes in it.
Just looking absolutely deranged.
Yeah, she does too. She always looks deranged.
But this is basically, spirit cooking, except for sharing your drugs.
I mean, there's nothing new about that. Parties where everybody puts a bottle of pills into a bowl and then you just
take
do that.
one.
That's a thing.
Which one is worse?
Probably that one.
Honestly,
one is probably worse. That one. Yeah. If we're talking about overdose interaction, drug interactions and stuff like that, probably that. But if we're coming all the way from the idea that Hollywood does the eyes wide shut parties, they can't do that if everyone's fat, so you got to go to the Ozempic party first before you can go to the eyes wide shut party.
Yeah, but in case you guys needed another reason to hate Hollywood celebrities, this person tweeted, "My mom, a diabetic, can't access her Ozempic meds due to a global shortage because people are terrified of being fat and would rather make themselves be permanently disabled to be thin. I hate this effing reality." Another person said, "Celebrities self-immolating their bowels with Ozempic instead of working out. The long-term side effects of this trend will be tragic."
Oh, I definitely think we're going to see people just getting sick all the time. I mean, ER rates were spiking when the Ozempic craze first started, and it makes me sad. It's a little funny that how beauty standards have changed over the years, because think about how everyone was gaining weight, wanted the curves, the BBLs, the big boobs, the fillers, the Botox, and now they all want to get rid of it. And so the fastest way to get rid of it is, let me inject myself every single week and get myself to the skinniest and frail, unhealthy as possible.
A lot of people think that Kylie is using Ozempic now.
I don't doubt it.
Because she's unveiling this new body that she has.
Yeah.
It's totally unrecognizable from what she had before.
Oh, I think any celebrity that looks thin, who isn't actively showing that they work out every day or have a nutritionist, is 100% using some sort of semi-glutide.
Gwyneth Paltrow is skinny because she eats nothing but broth and asparagus. But for the rest of them, especially if they've been fat for a very long time, like Mindy Kaling or Oprah, for instance, I don't believe that suddenly, just as you're in your midlife crisis, you decided this is when I'm going to be skinny. I think you decided now that there's a convenient way to do it that doesn't require any work.
It also doesn't look the same. good
Their
exercise.
faces definitely don't look the same.
The Ozempic fingers.
Yeah.
They look like little skeletons.
Crypt keepers.
Celebrities used to use cocaine like reasonable people when they wanted to get skinny, and now, you know,
They used to be bulimic or snort coke, and now this is
it's
what we're
too
doing.
Real
convenient
work.
to be skinny now. So they just inject themselves.
Yeah.
But the thing is they're also simultaneously starving themselves because they don't have an appetite when on it. So they don't eat. They're not working out to maintain the weight loss, to where if they stop taking Ozempic, they're just going to gain it all back.
Well, the sad part is you're not going to convince anyone to stop taking Ozempic because of the health effects.
No.
They're only going to be convinced to stop if you tell them it will make them ugly and old looking, which is exactly what's happening when we talked about Ozempic face.
I also don't buy that a bunch of these celebrities aren't taking Adderall and stuff like that. I just don't. It's
You
just
think?
too common, especially amongst younger celebrities. So if you can't even keep the weight off when taking Adderall, then you're gonna have to work even harder.
Do you think they act on Adderall?
Probably. So, to some extent, I think.
Because, like, wouldn't you be able to tell?
It would really depend on the type of scene that you're doing, because depending on how often you use it, if you actually need it, right, your body, the physiological response to it
But think
will
about
be different.
set times, like how long they're
6
on
a.m.
set.
But the thing is like, okay, so drug-induced energy has a cap that eventually causes you to crash, whereas actually getting in shape and getting on a good routine, meaning you get up early every day, even if you don't do it all year round, but you do it for the time on set, sucks, but has a benefit to it. But then there's also there's every bit of the opportunity that what they're doing is they're taking the uppers and the downers to even out, which is very, very common.
Never-ending
as well.
cycle.
It really, really is.
Yeah.
And I don't doubt. Like, do I put it past any of them to be on all of this stuff? No, not at all. It's just funny that this is the most one. This is the one that's really, really popular.
I just hate when people pretend they don't care about how they look, and they pretend they don't care about being skinny.
Everyone cares.
Clearly, being skinny is important to these people. They pretended for a while that they were body positive, but we can see in the results now they wanted to be skinny all along. They just didn't want to put in any of the work.
I was going to say the body positivity movement is a total cope. Like, and I think it's ending because of the Ozempic craze, because nobody actually wants to be fat, and people just aren't willing to put in the work.
Well, they want to comment on some fat person's Instagram post, like, you look beautiful,
This
queen,
is the
but
worst.
they don't want to be fat.
This is the worst of the trait of females, is that they will go on to every other girl's post and say,
lie.
you look beautiful. My favorite example that I always give is this woman who would post videos about how she married a dude in prison and would make videos about it, and women would be in the comments like, you guys have a love story for the ages. And I'm like, these women hate
They
you.
never stop each other's self-destructive decisions.
No, they don't.
No, women will lie to your face and be like, you look beautiful. I'm like, I love that outfit. It's like the like Mean Girls, the Regina George. Like, where's your skirt?
Yeah,
No.
it's the ugliest effing skirt I've ever seen. But like, I went back on our channel and I looked to the earliest point when we started talking about Ozempic, and I think it really was rising to public recognition in 2022. That our first video about it was September 2022, and it hasn't taken that long for people to start talking about Ozempic regret. Especially like Sharon Osbourne. She was on Ozempic, went off of it because she was getting way too frail and skinny, and she's also like pretty old, so that's dangerous for her.
So bad.
And now she hasn't been able to gain any of the weight back.
That's scary.
And she's been off of it for a while now. And it's disturbing to see it.
I feel like
happen.
there's just, you can't one size fits all. Ozempic can work for everybody. The semaglutide works for everyone, and people are taking it like it will, and they're having different thyroid problems, side effects, and we're going to see it just continue to be worse. Like, what's going to happen when there's actually an even worse shortage where no one can get it anymore?
Mm-hmm. One article from Evie said Ozempic regret is rising from constant vomiting to gastroparalysis. More and more Ozempic users are suffering from unforeseen extreme side effects, and they're making their voices heard online and in the news. So maybe you should have thought of that before you took a drug that was for someone with a certain disease that you didn't have.
Didn't
right?
Oprah recently go to the hospital?
Yep.
For her Ozempic? Well, people
Well, she didn't say that it was because of that, but it was definitely like a gastrointestinal thing, because her best friend outed her for it, saying like she had stuff coming out of both sides. Guys, I'm not going to go any further than that, but that's pretty clearly what was going on. And she hasn't publicly said that she's on Ozempic, but of course she wouldn't.
This reminds me back in like the Victoria's Secret model craze era where people would do anything to be skinny. It's like that, but now there's a drug for it.
It seemed like
they will do anything to be skinny other than work out and exercise.
I'm not saying that like we should promote eating disorders or something, but you know, it does add a barrier to entry.
Yeah.
At least, right?
You have to do something.
Right. Like it kind of was better for society when we idolized a body you didn't need to go under the knife to achieve as well.
Yeah.
So for a while, like the BBLs and the implants and the fillers were the most popular. Now they're getting it all dissolved and removed.
It's like when people in like the gym community talk about like whether they're natural or not. And that's a discussion that happens. And there's plenty of them that are happy to admit that they're not because their physique is what matters to them. And it's about the work that's put into it and the supplements that they're taking. And plenty of them have no problem admitting that they're using steroids.
I just feel like it needs to be more transparent. Like the body dysmorphia is just continuing, I feel like, for the next generation because they're so chronically online that they just see unrealistic, whether it's skinny or curvy or fillers or not. And I feel like the more that we encourage just natural beauty, like I have no work done. Why can't we just keep pushing like, hey, you're beautiful the way you are, not in a body positive way, but just live your life healthy and normal.
Sketch Therapy says Brett is an athlete. He never did drugs for superficial reasons. Yes, that's exactly
You're
right.
roided up for those skate competitions.
Yeah. Well, no. Who was it? Ryan Garcia got his most recent fight turned on him because he tested positive and
I don't know what these people think that is going to happen when they get drug tested. Like you're taking drugs, you're getting drug tested, people are going to find out.
Yeah.
Where's the logic?
Yeah.
Did he just think it was going to be out of his system at that point?
Simone Biles, who's like the best gymnast ever, ended up like she wasn't allowed to take her Adderall when she was at the last Olympics because they didn't allow it in that. Where was that at? Do you remember where that was? It wasn't France, was it?
No, that's this year.
That's this year. But wherever it was, they just because she's prescribed to it, but it's considered by their rules to be a performance enhancing drug because I mean it's a stimulant. It is. You know.
I think that's fair.
Take of that what you will, like depending on the person.
But is she the same person that dropped out because of her mental health?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was the same year, wasn't it?
But it's crazy because she's so good. Like that's what's crazy about it. Like my instinct when I saw that was like, give me a break. At least try to like it's the Olympics.
I feel like you could still compete not being on Adderall.
Who am I to tell literally the best gymnast in the world or the best what to do?
I guess. I mean, I don't know. It did seem kind of soft.
It did to me, but
because she said it was because of anxiety.
I saw that.
Adderall not going to make your anxiety worse, or it's going to make it worse, not better.
No. Okay, so it would make your anxiety in a natural state worse. But if we're talking hyper competitive states and you're used to being on it, I don't think so. I get what you're saying. It would cause anxiety when you're coming down, but that's not the same thing as performance anxiety.
You've been performing and competing as a gymnast for so long. Like yes, on Adderall, off Adderall. Like you're on the Olympic stage. Just go and compete, and if you don't score 100%, at least like you did it. And I feel like giving up is just weak.
Thanks for watching. Listen to full episodes of Pop Culture Crisis on Spotify.
Keep up with us on social media and make sure you subscribe and ring that bell so you never miss the show. Bye, guys.